So I just finished my very first match of DUSKBLOODS, and I thought I'd talk a little bit about it as it's fresh on my mind. I'm probably instantly going to jump right back in and try a couple more matches, but very quick first thoughts and opinions. How was the connection is the first thing that I should probably mention, because I did actually do quite a bit of PvP in the match, because while you don't necessarily get any virtue, which are like the points you need to level up your character so you can move on to the next round, whenever people die, they do actually drop power-ups. So you're able to get, max stamina up a little bit of extra attack power, something like that. So even then, it's still worth it to go ahead and try to kill people. Now, considering the first network test didn't even work, I thought the connection for this specific match was pretty good. I was pretty impressed. The first thing I did was end up killing a team of 2 people who ended up making an alliance together. And it was very, very easy to do so, but it was pretty early on in the match. It was like right at the beginning, so no biggie there. By the way, I did end up winning the match, and we'll talk a little bit about that here in a moment, but the exploration in the map is really cool from what I got to experience here and there. I got myself a cool little summon that I actually think was really good. It was a female character with dual, twin blades who just had really damn fast attacks. I got her really early on and ended up just keeping her pretty much throughout the match. I only got her to about, I believe, level 2. I don't exactly know how far these summons can go, but doing a little bit of exploration and a couple of little boss fights. I didn't end up fighting any of the big boss fights, but I did get, I think, 2 mini bosses. And I started off the match by challenging instantly a mini boss. Got wiped out, went back because I was like, is it going to spawn with half HP? Just didn't even spawn at all. So you really only get one chance, and then I screwed up and died. Then I decided to take the approach of exploring a little bit first, getting power-ups. I realized I was leveling up really slow in terms of the amount of virtue I was getting. While I was killing things and little enemies here and there, I didn't seem to run into too many of the exploration virtues, which are kind of when you start building up more and more points. There was one point where I think it was a minute or something before the ritual begun. And I was like, man, I'm dead last out of everybody, and ended up having the ritual spawn in, went to the ritual site, claimed myself a PvP stone, which meant whenever I kill somebody, I get more virtue, which was the sword virtue. Got myself about 2 kills and ended up jumping all the way up to the top and then claiming the main ritual thing. I actually don't know what it's called. I'll leave it up on the screen. The PvE actually was pretty smooth as well. You can clearly tell that the Switch isn't hitting that 60 FPS marker that they really want. It seems to fluctuate between, like most people have said, the 30 to 40 to 50 range. It kind of jumps around depending on the area you're in. That is why I am actually looking forward to maybe in the next match seeing if I could fight one of the bigger bosses. There was a certain point where I did get called in to help with co-op, but when that happened, it was pretty much the end of the round. And unfortunately, it was kind of fucked up because the guy who called me in, and I did actually join in to try to help him kill a little mini boss. He was one of the people who got quelled by the chalice or whatever it's called whenever you lose. So how was the final round? The final round, I will admit, was pretty freaking chaotic. It was a 3-person PvP match with all these abilities of all the summons that people have gotten. One of the people had some whip using character. One of them was the big fat guy who is on a wheelchair. That guy his grab is absolutely insane. I was using Albert as the main character. He was really, really good. His weapon was fast. It was really good. His attacks were solid. His blood blade attack was really damn good, and sometimes would stagger people for 3 freaking hits, making it insane. There was one point where I had no HP, and both of the guys that I was fighting against realized that, and they both rushed the shit out of me. And I tried my best to live. I could not live. That was the first life that I lost. After that, I kind of held back a little bit and would attack whenever I found a good moment, and ended up being able to kill the other 2 guys, which then in turn allowed me to win and get a nice little cutscene at the end. But the match, especially that last 3-player PvP match, was so freaking fast paced. It was intense. My heart was racing. It was crazy, especially with all the different abilities. I got hit by Albert's laser because honestly the other 2 guys were also Alberts. I think it's just because he's the first character you get. I'm going to try out one of the other characters now and see how that goes. But yeah, I got hit by one of these freaking Albert lasers, and that shit legitimately almost killed me and took my entire life. But my health bar was actually surprisingly big. It seemed way bigger than the other two guys, so I don't know what I did that allowed me to have a way bigger health bar. But on average, the players had like 600 HP, somewhere around there, 600. At least these Alberts that I was fighting. It could be different for other characters. And while my thoughts may seem chaotic after the first match, it was very fun. It was responsive, the connection was good, and the fightings were very entertaining. I do think I do need to do more of the exploring, so that's what I'm going to try to do. That's my thoughts after the very first match. It may seem like 1 second, but I'm going to go play a couple more matches and do another little commentary thing at the end after the actual network test finishes. So I'm back directly after just one more match, mainly because I got to experience a little more of the PvE this time, as I was running around actually trying to mainly fight like mini bosses and a big scary boss, this boss in particular. So there's definitely a big difference between the mini bosses and the big boy bosses. So much more HP, so much more damage, and I was pretty strong too. Did another match with Albert because I forgot to change it, but his weapons are just so damn good. His gun is so freaking fantastic for like finishing people off, because the amount of times where I just had people in like 1 sliver HP and I would just chase him down with his freaking machine gun. Super good, super fun. His blood blade does some crazy stagger like I mentioned earlier. But the PvE, you can get yourself really damn strong just doing PvE. Honestly, it's almost worth just fighting like mini bosses and running around with your character, completely avoiding people, even though it's really fun to fight people. And honestly, my bloodthirsty invader side, whenever I see somebody and they're just chilling, I feel like I gotta fight them. And like I said, you do actually get rewards, but no real points towards like winning. And I did win the second match. The second match with the final round was definitely way more intense, but it's so interesting. I don't know if maybe I'm just doing more PvE than some people, but I just feel like I have way more HP than people. I like 4 or 5 shot people, and then people hit me like 3 or 4 times and it's like half my HP. But like I said, I did fight about like 5 mini bosses, killed about 5 of these black tigers. So a pretty good amount of PvE. And like I said, it made me really strong for the PvP at the end, where I was just absolutely obliterating these 2 guys. It was fun. I'm gonna go play more, and I'll see you right now, multiple hours later. But the network tests, at least the first session, is now over. Final thoughts so far. I was riding a real high with those first 2 matches, I will admit, and then it kind of went downhill for me as I didn't win again. I got a couple close matches, a 2nd place, 3rd place, stuff like that, but never another W. And I just felt a couple times where I just had really bad RNG, which is absolutely possible in this game, because I just kept taking bad routes, finding no good virtue things. Any type of mini boss, I would just get really bad luck. And stuff like summons is actually pretty damn important now that I realize it. There's some summons that are so much better than others. Even though a lot of them have really good qualities and really good abilities, some of the summons, like the freaking pyromancy dude, there's some lady with guns that's really badass. And I did actually try a bunch of different characters. So let's start off with Layla, the sniper. Sniper, super fun, super cool weapons, not the best. Zork, my man Zork. I really like Zork. I think his abilities are super fun. I think he's really cool. I think his weapon is sick. He's got hyper armor. Big fan of Zork. Big fan of Zork. This guy, really cool. I like his Saurian dinosaur ability. Is freaking ridiculous. It has some ridiculous tracking, but at the same time, also really easy to dodge. A lot of people did dodge it, and really all they had to do was kind of run around in circles for it. One thing I will say is, as the matches progressed, the connection, I did notice way more connections where chasing somebody down and attacking them, I would just like, it's like classic FromSoft PvP, right? You're attacking them, hitting them, and then it's nothing's connecting, and then all of a sudden like 3 hits connect. It was pretty annoying when it would happen. It didn't happen like super often, but again, it's a network test. I understand they're testing the network. But overall, usually the connection was pretty decent. I tried out the guy in the pajamas as well. I wasn't a big fan of his weapon. I just thought his axe was just kind of boring. Really slow, even though like the freaking crazy slash slam attack that he has is like a big AoE. Tons of damage. Overall, his weapon is just a little bit too slow. So right now, my favorite character is still Albert. I think he has the best weapons. I think that his sidearm is probably the best in my opinion. While I can see myself in the future probably playing way more Zork because I just love his weapon. I love his design. It's so sick. He literally has like a freaking power cable that he's holding. I really like the designs of the characters. Now, I still need to try out the Vietnamese lady with the hats, so I'll most likely do that in the second network test. Overall, it's pretty positive. I enjoyed the game. The connection was better than I anticipated. It was pretty decent. The PvP was hype as fuck, especially once you get to the final round. While it can get a little bit too chaotic sometimes, not even talking about like the final 3-player round, sometimes you'll just like spawn somewhere and there's like 3 guys all fighting against each other. You know what sucks when you're fighting a like mini boss and all of a sudden people just come out of nowhere and start attacking you? I'm definitely gonna have to practice my routing in the future network tests. But for now, let me know what you guys thought of the network test, especially if you got a chance to play it. It's so unfortunate I'm not able to show you any gameplay or stream it or anything like that. Sorry for the looping trailer footage in the background, but that's really all I could think about putting in there. So anyways, for now, enjoy the rest of the network test time slots, and maybe I'll see a few of you guys in there. I do have my name as just Prod, so hey, you might run into me. Please don't target me. Thanks, guys. All right, bye.